If you've not seen Andor, you really should. If you're a Star Wars fan, no, to be fair, it's good TV. It's really good TV, regardless. I found the first couple of episodes a bit slow to get into, but I was painting some models for a Warhammer army at the time, so it was on in the background. I watched the first couple of episodes and it was going on, and it was cool. And suddenly the third episode and the rest of the series came on, and I'm like no longer painting models, and I'm just watching the rest of the series. It was so good. Some stupid moment. Really good though. Hello and welcome to an episode of Unlimited Power TCG's weekly event reports, stuff that I do, where we go through all of the events that have taken place this week in the UK, or at least all the ones that I've been told of and informed of the results and information for, which is quite a lot this week, as in like a hell of a lot. So strap yourself in. This is going to be a long one. I'm not going to dawdle through most of it. There's just a lot of events to cover. So I'm going to do something I keep telling myself I should do these times and say it early, because I normally say it quite late. If you like the content we supply, if you find value in it, if you find it interesting, informative, amusing, do please like this video. Do please subscribe to the channel. You'll see more of it. You'll see some of the other stuff we do. You'll help us become more popular and grow, and trust me, it's really, really helpful. Or do the leavey comments stuff where you tell us what you think about it, or tell me where we're wrong, and anything to promote YouTube to share our content across a wider audience than we already have. That would be wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. So, moving on into it. Upcoming major UK events and dates has moved on a little, because some of the big events that we were looking forward to have taken place this weekend. At the moment, we're right in the middle of the Store Showdown season for Set 2 Shadows of the Galaxy. These are the ones that will be coming up in the next week or so before it ends, and we move into Planetary Qualifier season. If you're interested in going to any of these, then do be aware that these dates were set a good couple of months ago, may have changed since then, so if you haven't booked or been in contact with the store in question, do get in touch with them to make sure that what you're looking to attend is still running when you expect it to be running. Then we're into the 3 Planetary Qualifiers, which are probably all sold out still. I honestly haven't checked this time. They've been either sold out or close to sold out for the last few weeks. Links to those are in the video description below, so do take a look if you're interested. Somebody may have cancelled, there may have been a dropout. It's always worth having a look if you're looking to go and secure a ticket and haven't been able to, because people can't make these things all the time, and tickets will occasionally come available. So there we go. If you've not seen, Fantasy Flight have shown off what some of the special prize kit contents are going to be, which prompted a little bit of fan response. So Fantasy Flight Games has said, we've heard you and we're looking into revising what the kit is, I assume adding to it, because having participation prizes for only 64 people out of 128 is what prompted the majority of the backlash. So we will have to see where that goes, but they've said that they are looking at actioning something for these planetary qualifiers, so that will be good to see. Following that, we're going into the Set 3 Twilight of the Republic pre-releases from Friday 1st through Sunday 3rd of November. Asmodee UK, Ollie the Asmodee guy, has gone out on record and say that if you attend the physical pre-release, you'll be able to buy boxes of boosters, starters, all that kind of jazz, the new Game Genic accessories from the day of that pre-release in the physical bricks and mortar local gaming store, so that's pretty cool. And if you're looking to order online, then they will ship and deliver for delivery to you from Friday the 8th of November, the official release date of Set 3 Twilight of the Republic. Around the same sort of season period, the 3 or 4 months around then, Holidays 2024, is going to be the reprint for Set 1 Spark of Rebellion from earlier in the year, when it had massive supply issues due to being incredibly more popular than they predicted. There are still a few boosters and boxes of Spark 1 Set Runner Spark Rebellion around in and about stores across the country, at least that I've seen here, but a full reprint coming out will benefit everybody who wants all their Lukes and their Vaders and all the other goodness in Set 1 that you might not have been able to acquire thus far. Newly announced within the last few days, as of time of filming, OPE and Asmodee UK are going to be hosting their 3rd Premier tournament. The first one was Twickenham for Spark Rebellion. Second one was in Manchester for Set 2 Shadows of the Galaxy. And it appears their 3rd one will be Twilight of the Republic, to be held on those dates as shown. That will be held in Birmingham, right in the middle of England, so nice central location. I'm over the moon about this because driving 10 or 15 minutes from my house to an event is always going to be a wonderful thing. So I look forward to seeing you there and hoping you're going to be there. And, well, that's a prize, isn't it? That's a chunky prize. There's a lot more prizes because obviously they're doing it in conjunction with Asmodee UK, so there's going to be boosters galore. The last one they ran at Manchester, they included a lot of extra prizes being announced over the weeks leading up to the event, so maybe that will happen as well. Either way, link to book your tickets for this event will be in the video description below. Do check it out if you're interested. It's 20 quid for day one. There'll be side events on day two. Sealed, draft, constructed, Twin Suns, which is my personal favourite for side events, so I'll look forward to playing some of that on the Sunday if I don't manage to top 8 or 16 or whatever the cut is for going through on there. So that looks to be another thing to get ready for. Awesome. Now into the actual tournament and event results themselves. The date on the screen there is the date I'm filming this. Events have taken place over, in theory, the last 7 days, but frankly the majority of these are Store Showdowns that have taken place on Saturday. Yesterday the 28th, the UKTC 1K Saturday day 1, and then a separate UKTC 1K on Sunday today took place, and they are some of the larger events that have happened this weekend. So we will get to those. Right, let's go through. Starting off, we've got CG&C, which is either Coffee Games and Comics, or Comics, Games and Coffee. I can't remember which way around that one is. I do apologise. In Chichester, their Store Showdown was 7 players. Thank you very much, Darth Stark, for letting me know the results of this one. Was won by a Ray Command deck. Second place, Luke Command deck. So, if you're wondering why I'm reporting on smaller events as well as larger ones now, just because a small event took place and it was not necessarily representative of a huge demographic of decks doesn't mean the people who did well there and the decks that did well there didn't do well in and of themselves and don't deserve to be reported on. So, I'm happy to showcase anything and everything I can get, at least for the moment, because this was a very, very long video. It took quite a long time to prepare, so I'm out to work out a new way, a more efficient way to do this in future. But that's a bridge to cross when this comes along. Again, second I have to report on was Calamity Comics in Hatfield run their Store Showdown. They had 8 players. Thank you very much, James Stevenson, for reaching out for providing the results for this one. The event was won by a Tarkin Cunning Space deck, and the second place was a Boba ECL deck with no legendaries. James reached out to me and offered us a deck list to showcase for those of you who are interested in looking at more budget, price-conscious friendly decks. This is a deck that has obviously got some legs to it, good bit of strength, and no legendaries in there. Quite a few rares, and not exactly cheap rares necessarily in terms of Fire Spray, Maul. Boba Fett's armor's not horrendously expensive, Bavine's not horrendously expensive, but overall, that is a solid deck that should be within the reach for most people, one would hope, to be able to put together and see some success with once you've given it a few trial runs and played some games, got used to how it's working, and know what you're going to be playing against. So, thanks very much for providing that. That's great to see, and maybe we'll see some inspiration of other budget decks further on down the line. Oh, excuse me. Next up, Excelsior in Bristol ran their Store Showdown. They had 11 players. Thank you very much, Scrub Games, for reaching out and providing the results. There was won by a Han 2 blue deck. Second place, Boba Yellow. Third, Vader Green. And fourth, Vader Blue, making a resurgence for the first time in the winning decks this set 2 meta. And not the only time we're going to mention it in this video either. So, interesting to see that starting to make a bit of a comeback. Geek Retreat in Aberdeen did their Store Showdown yesterday. They had 11 players. Thank you very much, Moray, for providing the results. They also filmed it. It's on their Twitch channel. I imagine it'll be available as a VOD as well. I would hope so. Maybe I'll see if I can get the link and put that in the show description below in the video notes. It was won by Ethan, who took it down with a Kira Green deck. Second place was Aaron with a Boba Yellow. Third place, Sabine Green, which I can only assume is ECL because nobody runs Sabine Green without ECL and wins these days. But then again, I could be wrong. It's possible, I suppose. And Boba Yellow was taken down fourth place by Liam. Congratulations to everybody at Geek Retreat Aberdeen for achieving the wins there. Incon Games in Cheltenham also ran yesterday. They had 11 players. Thank you very much, Phoenix Day, for providing the results for this one. First place is a name that people who've been watching these results video will have seen once or twice previously for winning events and placing highly at Manchester and otherwise, is Dave Cerberus Hoyland, winning the event with a Boba yellow deck. Second place was Ray Red. Third place you got Han 2 blue, and fourth place is another instance of the Vader blue that I mentioned earlier, being run by Andy Cam, good friend member of the people that I test and play with and bounce ideas off. He's a good chap, and he also kindly provided his deck list, so if you want to see the Vader blue that has been kicking around, or a variant of it, and has performed well, then there's something to pause and linger over and digest as you will. Travelling Man in Newcastle ran their Store Showdown. They had 15 players. Thank you very much, Dave, for providing the results for that one. First place was a Kira Green deck, and then second through eighth, not in any positional order, merely alphabetical order. You got a Boba Green, a Boba Yellow, a Han 2 Green, a Palp Mono Green, Ray Red, and two Sabine ECLs in there. So all of these will, of course, go into the cumulative meta snapshot that I'll do at the end of the video, as I always do, because I hope it provides value to you all. Leisure Games in London ran their Store Showdown, 16 players at the same day as the UKTC, so obviously a little bit of cross-player competition going on there, but a lot of events is always healthy. It was thanks very much, Arcadia Baylove, for reaching out and providing the results. I know you had a great day. Well, you said you had a great day. I'd love to see your Bo-Katan Mandalorian deck do well and performing well sometime, so we'll keep an eye open. The event was taken down by Vader Green deck. Second place, Kylo Yellow. Third place, you got a Han 2 Blue. And the fourth, you got a Palpatine Yellow, which is not an uncommon name. That's a lie. It's not a rare name in these results videos, but it's certainly not a common one. We've seen it a few times. Manaflux at Newcastle under Lyme had 18 players. Thanks very much, Lewis, for reaching out and giving me the results. Very much appreciated as always. The event was won by Kane Harrison, piloting Sabine ECL that he took with such and piloted with such skill at the Element Games charity event earlier in the year. Second place is also Sabine ECL, run by Jess Rushworth. Congratulations to both of you guys. Jess Rushworth. I should not rush so much over trying to pronounce that name. Yeah, very funny. Third place was a Bosk Blue deck, and fourth place, Palpatine Vigilance, run by Lewis, who gave the results. Congratulations, all three of you. Well done. Dyson Pins in Bromborough ran their Store Showdown, 19 players. The event was won by Martin White of the Gonk Gang channel, who took it down with a Boba Red deck, which is also, like the Vader Blue, making its entrance into the results tracks and snapshot that I'm compiling this week. Second place was Han 2 Blue, piloted by Sam Short, who also provided me the results. Thank you very much, Sam. We've also got a deck list from him popping up momentarily. Third and fourth place, you got another Han 2 Blue and a Sabine ECL. And this was Sam's... no, that's not right. This was Martin's winning Boba Red spaceship deck, which is not unheard of, but it's new into the winning lists that we've been compiling and seeing. This was Sam's deck that he took, and my face is covering one card, which I'm sure you'll be surprised to learn is a Crate Dragon in the corner there. Excellent. That's a thing. I'd love to go into these in some detail, but to be honest, this video is going to be long enough as it is, and that'll be a thing. Athena Games in Norwich held their Store Showdown, the second largest Store Showdown of the weekend, 27 players. Thank you very much, Stephen Sage of the Alliance Dispatch, for reaching out and providing me the results to showcase all of his Alliance Dispatch friends and himself dominating the entirety of the field of the top 8 of these 27 players here. Jamie Stone, a regular name over the past few weeks for winning and taking down games in the area, taking it down this week with a Bosk Green ECL deck. Congratulations, Jamie. Jack took second place with Sabine Green. Danny Adlam, also Alliance Dispatch, took third place with a Boba Mono Yellow. Fourth place was Oliver with a Ray Cunning deck, which we've seen a couple of times, notably used at the UKTC in Leicester a few weeks ago and the Manchester run by Alex. I have no idea if it was the same deck, but I can imagine it had similar sort of inspirations behind it. Boba Green took 5th place, run by Liam. Stephen Sage took 6th place with another Boba Red deck. Congratulations, Stephen, of the Alliance Dispatch. 7th place, Speen ECL by Michael Spearman, also of the Alliance Dispatch. And 8th place of the top 8 out of all 27 players was a Ray Red deck, piloted by Ian. Well done to everybody in that event. The biggest store showdown of the weekend was naturally the one I attended, of course. Hold your applause. 28 players, boards and swords in Derby. It was the first time I've been to this store, run by Ian Mann, and it was an amazing store. Honestly, it's going to be one of my favourite local stores to go to, and I'm not just saying this to suck up. It's light, it's all painted white, it's airy, it's roomy, it's not claustrophobic. The event started on time, it ran on time. Lunch was provided at a reasonable price, it arrived on time, there was a decent lunch break for it. All the people that we played with were great there. It was very welcoming kind of an area. They've got free parking on site, and a lovely little cafe just down the road as well, which is great. It's a wonderful place. If you ever get the opportunity to check out Boards and Swords, I strongly recommend you do so in Derby. I'll be going to their pre-release on Friday the 1st of November. I'll be picking up my set boxes for Twilight of the Republic then as well, and I'm very much looking forward to it, so it'll be good to go back and see the guys again. But anyway, on to the results. The event was taken down by Jacob with a Han 2 blue deck. Timo took 2nd place with a Boba yellow deck. 3rd place was Ben Davis, who took it down with a Gar yellow deck. 4th place was a Sabine ECL deck piloted by Vix, who I happened to play in the final round of Swiss, and he played it very, very well indeed. Told me he'd been playing SWU for the last couple of weeks, didn't own any cards, and this is a deck that had been put together by Timo, who finished 2nd in here. Taught him how to play over a few weeks, and he's obviously done extremely well with it, so congratulations, Vix. You played it very well, my friend. Good. 5th place was a Tarkin yellow deck piloted by Drizzly Healer 27. 6th place we had a Han 1 red deck that Luke Foster ran, another regular name that I see in results videos that I've put together, and performing very, very well up and down and around the country over the past few months. Same with OJ, who was 7th in Swiss, but he had to drop because he had to head off early and didn't play the top 8, but he ran a solid Boba green deck. Alex Berry took 8th place with a Han 2 blue deck. 9th place in the Swiss rounds, who subbed in instead after OJ had to leave, was Dom, who was also running a Boba green deck. And because I get the opportunity to shoot my own trumpet just a tiny bit, although it's not going to be a loud troop because it's only 11th place, but out of 28, I'll take it. I was running a experimental, for me at least, Kylo ECL green deck, which was not an aggro deck. It was much more of a, I think somebody's called it a reanimator deck, that I came up with an idea for this and then saw that Woo had done a video breaking down all the details into how this deck works, and I chatted a little bit with the guys on the KTOD Patreon Discord to see a few more ideas on how to tweak it and play it, and it was great fun to play. I enjoyed it. I did not achieve my personal goal, which was to make the combo of having Piet on the board, ramping on turn 2 or 3 into 6 resources on turn 4 instead of 5, and then using Palpatine's return to play Emperor Palpatine, the 8-drop, on turn 4, and ambushing him in using Piet to allow to do so, and shoot things and overwhelm. But next time, there's always going to be a next time. That was just something to play towards and have a bit of a laugh with. But yeah, it was a good solid deck. It was good fun. Maybe a bit too much for a combo deck, but maybe I'll do a video on it. We shall see. I don't think I'm going to give it up, but yeah, it was a laugh. It was good to try. The biggest events of the weekend were the UKTC 1Ks. They did 2 of them, one on Saturday, one on Sunday, taking place in the Olympic halls in London. at Lee something Hall's venues. I can't remember the exact name of them. Josh McMorran ran both of them as head judge, an overall lead on both days of the events. Thank you very much, Josh, for arranging it. I understand you ran a tight ship as always, from testimony from people who've been there and come back and I've chatted to since. And I know you ran a really, really good one at Leicester, so props to you, dude. I'm sure it was incredibly good. In fact, I know that it was ran really, really well from the people that I've spoken to for it. So looking forward to the next SWU events that UKTC run. Hopefully a little bit more central from a selfish point of view, because I hate driving into London, but we covered that last week. Day 1 was taken down by Alex Hancox, who was running a Boba Green deck. I have deck lists for all of these top 8. I have deck lists for all of them, but I'm only going to go through the deck lists of the top 8 because the event was run through Limitless. We have all the details, have all the links. We have the meta breakdown. We'll go through those shortly. Congratulations, Alex. Both days of these were done as cash prize, by the way. 400 British pounds to the winner, 200 to second place, 100 each to third and fourth, and 50 each to fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth on both days, which is pretty cool for a tournament that only ran 34 players in the end. So very generous, and yeah, definitely go to the UKTC events. They are really, really cool. Sabine ECL was second place by Kane McMillan. Third was a Boba Green deck piloted by Josh, Yeho, Sarah, Freeman Birch. Most of these are going to be regular names for people who will have followed these results and reports and know them. Fourth place, Sabine ECL, piloted by Seb Buku Bukowski. I know that Kane and Buku would both call out and credit the KTOD Patreon Discord and the Sabine ECL channel for being massively helpful for what they do and put things together, so I hope I'm not taking too much liberty in shouting that out for you. I also find it very, very helpful. Bosk ECL was 5th place, piloted by Aaron Early. 6th place, we had a Boba ECL by Cree Gunning, which is actually rare at the moment, because most of the Boba Green decks we see at the moment tend to be Boba Green rather than Boba ECL, so it would be interesting to find out what informed that decision. 7th place was a Bosk ECL piloted by Thomas Nasayev Deakin, and 8th place was a Hard One Cunning deck run by Lewis Burnett. The overall meta-analysis for the event is thus. So we've got Boba being 20% of the field with a win rate of 52%, and then the numbers and percentages go down from there. Although it is interesting to see that there were 3 Sabines in the entire field of 34 players, and 2 of them made it into top 8. Obviously, they got the win rate there of 78%. The 8th place list was Lewis Burnett's Han 1 Cunning. I'll linger over that a moment for you to pause and take it in as you wish. 7th place list, Thomas's Bosk ECL. Again, I'm not really going to linger because there's quite a lot of stuff in here and it's quite a long video already. We've got Cree Gunning's Boba ECL deck there. What was he wanting to ECL? So it would have been Fire Spray Rook, possibly. Zuckus in case he didn't draw Forlom. Not a lot else is going to benefit from the ECL massively, and yes, we want to do it early to control the board. So, bold choice, Cotton. Clearly it paid off for you. Well done. Next up, we got the 5th place Bosk. This is the first of these results videos I've actually got to have notes to refer to. So, it's a huge one. Bosk ECL, piloted by Aaron Early, as you can see before you. A lot of cards in there, a lot of 2 counts, a lot of 1 counts. No, not a lot of 1 counts, but a fair amount of 1 counts. Interesting. Next up, we've got the Sabine ECL list, piloted by Seb Buku Bukowski. What are you running today, Seb? You're running 2 R2s. Interesting choice. I thought you didn't like the R2s. Rebel Pathfinders, Bright Hope main deck, Rebel Assault Timely main deck, Sideboard Heroic Sacrifice Sundari, and 2 Adelphis. Confiscate, obviously, Spec Force for obvious reasons. Interesting developments we've been seeing in Sabine ECL over the past few months to combat the rise of Bosk and other hard control decks. 3rd place, we had Kira ECL, run by Lewis. No, we didn't. We had Boba Command, piloted by Josh Freeman Birch, Josh Yeho Serra. I'm getting ahead of myself. I would imagine this is pretty straightforward Boba Green. Cobb Vanth, Vader, Boba's Armour, Hotshot, Palpatine's Return the side, Fell the Dragon in the side. Bazine, yep, pretty solid stuff there. Second place, we've got the Sabine ECL deck run by Kane McMillan. Also a graduate of the KTD Patreon Discord Sabine ECL channel, which I'll shout out several times. I'm going to stop doing because I don't get paid to. Love you guys. Running R2 in main deck as well. Rebel Assault, Timely, Adelphi main deck this one rather than Bright Hope, so a difference there with Buku's, but Bright Hope's in the side instead. Largely similar, just differing in configuration as to what's inside and what's in main from each other. And the winning list of the day one Saturday, the Boba Green deck piloted by Alex Hancocks, who has put up a essay review of the day, as he did previously for Gen Con and some other events that he's attended. I'll put a link to that in the video description below. Do take a look. It's a really good read as to why he did what he did, his experience of the event and the games, the thoughts he had putting the deck together and what he played against. Trust me, read it. You won't regret it if you're interested in bettering your game and taking a look at the thoughts behind a winning player and their list. So yeah, there we go. The final event I have to report on is the day 2 of the UK TC 1Ks in London. I've said most of what I was going to say before about who's running it and how it was run. 33 players on this particular one. The event was won by Josh Yehosera with a Han 1 Cunning deck this time, rather than the Boba Command he ran in the one yesterday. Second place, Sabine ACL by Kane McMillan again. Loving that second place, rocking that spot. Third place, you got a Kira Green deck run by Lewis Harvey. Fourth place, Sabine ECL run by Joe Butler. Fifth place, you got a Boba Green run by Lewis Burnett. Sixth place, you got a Boba Yellow deck run by Harvey Barrett. Seventh place, a Han 1 Yellow deck run by Andrew Hughes. And finally, in eighth place, another Sabine ECL deck run by Josh Baton. Congratulations to everybody for all of your performances and all of your achievements over the many events run this weekend. The meta overview for this event is, as you can see, relatively similar to the previous days. Again, I'm going to point out that Sabine was 4 decks out of the 33, but 3 of them were in the top 8. So, then again, they also weren't the event winners. That's something to think about. This was the 8th place Sabine ECL deck run by Josh Baton. What we got here? We got Heroic Resolve, controversial choice, but obviously has paid off for you. Well done. Disabling Fang Fighter in the side for obvious anti-upgrade reasons, whether it's other Dark Sabers, Boba's Armours, or possibly even bounties. K2's pose. Delphi in the main board. R2, 1 copy in the main board. Nice. Very good, very good. 7th place, Han 1 Yellow, run by Andrew Hughes. Fell the Dragon in the sideboard again. Zori Bliss in the sideboard. I think that's the first time I've seen that card in any kind of meta deck at all this set, so that's an interesting one. Cool. Moving on from there, we've got a Boba Yellow deck run by Harvey Barrett. I don't know if my face is going to be covering the Change of Heart in the bottom right hand corner there, but if it is, then it is 1 copy of a Change of Heart. A lot of variety in here. Not many 3-obs, a lot of 2-obs, and a lot of 1-obs. Interesting. Next up, we've got the Boba Green deck run by Lewis Burnett in 5th place. Fairly classic Boba Green there. Cobb Vanth, Bazine. 3 resupplies, 3 super lasers, patrolling V-Wing. Interesting choice. Palpatine's Return, Chew sides in the side, Devastator in the side. Obviously worried about the potential late game matchups far more than he is the aggro matchups, I guess. Unless he's built the main deck for the aggro matchups. 4th place, you got the Sabine ECL deck that was piloted by Joe Butler. 2 R2s in the main deck. All the staples. Disabling Fangfighter main deck for this gentleman. 1 Dodonna in the main deck as well. I do like Dodonna, I must confess, although he's not a popular choice among Sabine ECL players. Medal Ceremony, Heroic Sacrifice and Rebel Assault in the main deck. Very interesting, don't see that very often. Third Rebel Assault in the side. Sundari Peacekeeper and Bright Hope in the side. No sign of the Adelphi fighter in this particular deck. Interesting. Well, very well played. Congratulations, Joe. Third place was a Kira ECL deck run by Lewis Harvey. I haven't run Kira Green myself very much, so I'm not as inclined to comment on it as I am with Sabine ECL. It's still, you can see this being a strong and potent list with an incredibly heavy top end, a lot of control options to get there, which is exactly what you'd expect. Top target bounties, yep, there we go. Inferno 4, which I've recently heard Loopy at Late Night Gaming referred to as a Scry Fighter, and I'm going to have to call it Scry Fighter here on out because that is the best name. I love it. Well done. Second place was Kane McMillan's Sabine ECL deck. I haven't stacked it up against the one from yesterday, but immediately I can see that he's put Bright Hope in the main board and relegated Adelphi to the side for the one that he ran on Sunday as composed to Saturday. So clearly he thinks that there is some value in doing so. Sundari Peacekeeper also in the main deck. I guess he's a little bit more worried about Boba and the Mirrors, which I understand that is particularly good matchup into. And finally, the final winning list for the weekend is the Han 1 Cunning deck run by Joshua Yehosera Freeman Birch. Congratulations, Joshua. This one's got Zori Bliss main deck. Zori coming out of nowhere to feature in some high-performing decks. Very interesting. We're going to have to look into that a little bit and find out what's going on there. Enticing Reward, solid card. Kira, solid card. Tech, obviously. DJ combo, obviously. Cantina Bouncers. Can't see any new adventures. So obviously he doesn't value that one as much as the other options he's got, which is a perfectly fair choice. Cloud Rider in the side. Evacuate in the side. That's a card I've also not seen at all this meta. So Josh proving his chops once again in list writing abilities, ability to judge the meta and take down what needs taking down. So there you go. Yes, congratulations everybody in all of your victories and all of your achievements. An overall meta summary. This covers all of the top performing decks, either top 4s, top 8s, etc. over the last few months, the entirety of Set 2 gathered together. If you want the more recent developments, and obviously you can watch back this video and see what decks have been winning events literally this week and this weekend to inform what you might want to take next weekend and going forwards. But for now, Sabine and Boba represents a solid 40% of the top performing lists. If you add in Han 2 Blue, that's everything on the left there, that makes 50% of top performing lists. Adding in Boss Green, Kira Green and Red Ray, you're looking at 65% of the winning metagame here in the UK being taken up by these lists here on this screen in front of you. And the rest, adding it all up there, is a lot. I can't see there's going to be many leaders and decks aren't represented here. Still nobody's managed to make Finn work or IG88, but almost everything else is in here, so excellent. Obviously, if you want to compete and win and do well, you need to be prepared to win against a vast array and a huge variety of decks, which is a brilliant thing for the health of the game, that there's so much variety and potential for good players, good deck writers, good pilots to be able to take their experience, judge the meta accurately, and play the decks that they want to play and win with them. So well done everybody. If you're looking to go to a Planetary Qualifier, if you're looking to go to another Store Showdown, then do bear in mind everything that you'll have watched over however long this video has been going for. Thank you very much for your attention again. There'll be probably another one next week. Hopefully not as busy as this one. I don't anticipate it'll be as busy as this one, but you never know. Yeah, cool. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.